Hello and welcome to Relating with Jen Funk. I am Jen, relationship coach and your host. And today we are talking about how to stay connected to your high school senior during a year that is full of big emotions, both for them and for us as parents. So let's get into it. This episode is for all of the parents out there who have a high school senior at home, or maybe you have younger kids. And I promise you, you will get to this point in life in the blink of an eye because it happens really fast. And if you are in this season right now, like I am, we are all begging for time to slow down. We're halfway through the year. We can hardly believe it. And our emotions are all over the place, trying to hold on to these kids while also knowing that it's time for us to start letting them go. So it's an exciting time, but it's also really emotional and it's really stressful on us, on our kids. So today, by the end of this episode, my sweet senior, my baby girl Natalie, is going to be joining us. And we are going to share with you 5 real meaningful action steps that you can take to make the most of these next few months with your senior, whether your kid is planning to head off to college in the fall, whether they are starting a new job or going to trade school, whatever the next steps are for your kid. This is a transition year for everyone. So, like I said, today we have my youngest daughter, Natalie, joining us on the podcast. She is right in the middle of her senior year. She's finishing up her last year of cheerleading, which she has loved. She is still waiting on some college decisions to come back, so we don't quite know where she's going to end up yet in the fall. And she is going to share what it's like from her perspective to be in the middle of all of this as a high school senior. So let's welcome Miss Natalie Funk. Hello, Natalie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Mom. Thanks for having me.
Does it feel weird being on your mom's podcast? That's a little weird.
Yes, a little bit. Everyone knows you as Jen, but to me, you're just Mom.
Exactly. So listen, we are talking about this crazy life that you're living right now as a senior. If you could sum it up in one word, give me one word to describe your senior year so far.
Just eventful. Just a lot
Eventful.
going on.
Okay, right. There is a lot going on. There's a lot going on for you. There's a lot going on for parents. And that's why I'm super excited for you to be my guest to tell us what it's really like from your perspective. Because I can talk about the parents' part, but getting in the minds of our teenagers is a whole different ball game. So tell us more about that. It seems like you've had a good run of it in high school. Like it's been a good 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I want you to tell us more about the whole high school experience and then what's different now that it's senior year.
Well, yeah, for me, high school has always been really fun. I've had a great group of friends and we just hang out all the time. But like for senior year, there's a lot more moments to be emotional about, like senior night and last homecoming and convocation, all those things. So it's just like a lot going on. And then college stuff. So it's just so many times where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually a senior.
Yeah. Now, can you think of what's been your most fun, like the highlight so far? Is there a highlight moment you can think of?
Highlight moment, definitely senior night. That was really fun. Just
Yeah.
because it's like, well, I cheer for those who don't know. And
Yep.
and just to see all the underclassmen that looked up to you and be reminded of the upperclassmen when you were a freshman and just to be appreciated in that way. It's just so rewarding, I guess. And everyone's emotional and you guys are there walking me out to the field. So it's just pretty surreal, especially having siblings have gone through it. Like Kaylin, I never thought that it would be me, but
Right.
here I
Yeah, he
am.
had his own senior night, but there you were on the football field as
Yeah.
the varsity captain of the cheerleaders having your own moment. That's a
Mhm.
very special moment for your dad and I as well, and your brother and sister. So that was certainly a highlight. What's been the hardest moment? Anything stand out?
Hardest moment, probably just getting through college applications, or maybe just the waiting game, or just seeing people get in places and not get in places. It's all kind of sad.
We're getting to all that. We're getting to all
Okay.
that because that does kind of sum up the entire experience. And I imagine, don't let me speak for you, but I know for us as parents, there's a lot of this excited anticipation combined with the sad stuff too. Is it weird to feel like 8,000 emotions all happening at the same time?
Yeah, it is weird.
I
Definitely.
know. It's weird for me too. It's weird
Yeah.
for me too. All right. Well, one of the things that sort of highlights a senior year, I know for a lot of us moms, because we talk about it, and oh my gosh, it's the last first day of school and
Oh
the
yeah.
last, it's commemorated by a bunch of these lasts. So, what's it like to know it's the last thing, but you're actually experiencing it? What is that
Yeah.
like?
I just try to be as present as possible. Just trying to be in the moment as much as I can and like really take in what's going on around me. I've definitely tried to implement some mindfulness techniques. It sounds dumb, but just to like look around, I like to go through all my senses and stuff, like what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling and stuff, and just to, like form more solid memories, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of scary too because you don't want to forget it and you wish that you could just stay there forever, but obviously it's going to pass. So, yeah, just trying to be as present as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to
Hmm.
be living in that moment. So, has there been any moments so far that have caught you off guard where maybe you thought you would have been really sad about it, but you didn't? And then others like, oh my God, I didn't think I'd be sad about this, but here I am crying.
Yeah. Well, convocation. So I don't know if the other high schools do it, but basically it's just like a little pre-graduation and you're in your cap and gown and it basically solidifies you as a senior. And I thought it was going to be really sad, but me and my friends were just laughing about it, like how funny it was to like see people in our grade put it on. Like we didn't even think they were going to graduate. Like just funny stuff like that, or like seeing each
Well,
other
they
like
still might not. The year's not over.
yeah.
Yes, convocation was definitely a moment. I'll say for me, I expected to be emotional, and I was emotional. There is
Yeah,
something about
right.
seeing you in the whole cap and gown thing that was, yeah,
And the
definitely
song was
got me.
emotional.
Yes, it's the song, the processional when you all come in. Oh my gosh, I'm sure it
Yeah.
got every parent in there. So, to that end, you know clearly, and we've talked about it, parents are emotional during this time too. Do you notice that more? Are you aware that we are more emotional this year too?
Well, yeah, like sometimes if I look up at you and you're crying, then I'm gonna cry too. Like, yeah, like I am sad for you, sad for me. You know?
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, my friends will tell me their parents will sit them down and just start bawling about college, and they haven't even thought about it, or just about senior year anyway. It's just all
Right. So sometimes we're already there and you guys are like,
yes,
wait, what? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So, what do you think that I'm going to miss the most about it being the end of senior year for you?
Um, Maybe just the company or going to my events and stuff. Like now you're gonna be an empty nester.
And
Oh,
then what about dad? What do you think dad's going to miss the most?
I think maybe dad will miss. I don't know, honestly. He's like he likes to go go go, so he won't have as much time to like get on us about our stuff. He's gonna miss all the cups and the silverware in the sink. I know he
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
And the shoes that didn't make it into the shoe bin. That'll definitely be missed for sure. All right. So, the other part of senior year that's really big, and I know you're in the thick of it, and so are a lot of your peers, is those of you that have decided to go on to college. You have this big push, you get all your applications in the fall, and then you just sit around and wait for the decisions to
Yeah.
roll in. So, how has that been for you?
It's been chaotic. It's gone pretty well for me, but definitely the actual application portion of it was stressful and just trying to be in the know as much as possible because like everything's happening at once and sometimes you miss little emails or you miss stuff about scholarships. So just trying to be as like
Don't
educated as
miss the stuff
possible.
about
I
scholarships,
know.
Natalie.
Yeah. I'm trying not to.
Pay attention to those things.
Yeah, right.
So, do you find yourself thinking about, like, oh my gosh, where am I going to be in the fall? Do you find yourself getting lost in that train of thought? And if so, is it late at night? Is it when somebody says, "Hey, where are you going to school?" Like, is something triggered, or is it just always there?
There's always something a little bit in the back of my mind. It's mainly excitement just because there's so many possibilities and just trying to imagine myself like over here and over here and over here. So I'm not looking at it as a bad thing. I'm just kind of looking at it like, oh my gosh, there's just so many possibilities for me.
Okay. And then are there things that people say, like, well, Natalie, where are you going to school? Are there things
Yeah.
that people say that are annoying or not helpful? Is that one of them? Like, stop asking?
Yeah, everyone asks. Everyone always asks where you're trying to go and stuff, and everyone says you'll go where you're meant to be. But sometimes it just doesn't help when you're so stressed. I'm like, I get it, but it's like accepting that some things might go wrong is better than people just being like, "Oh, it's gonna be amazing no matter what."
Well, it sounds like for you to know that is true in your own heart, you might know that, but it's not helpful necessarily to hear it from someone else
Hmm.
that isn't the one that's going to be living the experience and just sort
Right.
of patting your head and saying it's all going to work out. Is that what you
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna work
Got
out for you. It's gonna work out for you. But I'm the one actually
it. As
going.
as we watch you go do your thing, is there something else that would be helpful for someone to
Yeah.
say instead of that?
Yeah, probably just like being like, listen, I know this time is really hard. And so I'm here to support. And maybe just getting excited with me or with your kid, just being like, well, look at all these possibilities and look at every option as something new. Like, oh, look what you could do here and look what you could do here.
Hmm.
Just trying to like switch the mindset. Because obviously, naturally, we go to what will go wrong, what we're not going to get to do, but switching it up, look at all the possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. Celebrate the choices. That's what you guys
Yeah.
have been
Hmm.
working so hard for to
Right.
create all these opportunities for yourself. It was never about the grades, it's about being successful in your academics so that
Yeah.
you would have choices of what to do next.
Hmm.
So tell me about obviously, you're all in this together, right? You have an amazing friend group, you're all applying to lots of the same schools.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you're hearing some are getting in, some aren't, some are getting waitlisted, some are getting deferred?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's so hard not to compare and not to just look at what someone else has that you don't. Um, I mean, just naturally, it's like, how come they got in and I didn't? Or how come they got this scholarship and I didn't? Or like, what could I have done? And so it's definitely been hard. And especially when you know that it's one of your friends' dream schools and they don't get in or they get waitlisted. And you kind of have to find that line of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But you still want to be hopeful and you still want to be nice and you still want to be supportive. But like, it still sucks. And so you want to be
Yeah.
nice about it.
Yeah. Well, it's like you, like, let's say you get in somewhere and someone doesn't. You might be really, really excited, but you can't really be really excited because then
Yeah.
you're also sad because they didn't.
Hmm.
So you have to kind of restrain what you put out there because you still want to be a supportive friend.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so hard. Strangely, it's a long time ago, but I
Hmm.
I remember that experience too, and just
Yeah.
wanting to celebrate your friends, but also feeling excited or disappointed for whatever's happening for you. So today, though, you guys have social media. We didn't have that. Does the social
Yeah.
media thing make that harder for you?
Yeah, I think it probably does make things harder. Like now we have Instagram pages where you share where everyone's going to college. Like, oh, also people just post it on their stories naturally, like they're excited about it. And that's awesome, but it goes for anything on social media. It's so in your face and you cannot escape it. It's always there. So there's no ignoring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you personally have any strategies to managing it? Can you catch yourself if you're in this cycle of comparison that
Hmm.
isn't helpful and you're kind of spiraling down like, well, why did she get it? Why didn't I get it? Like, you
Yeah.
have any strategies for how to pull yourself out of that?
Right. You just kind of like put the phone away. You just try to get out of it for a little bit. Just kind of taking yourself out of it, honestly. Like, if I look at Joe Schmo, who's going to freaking Stanford, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But you kind of have to separate yourself from that. That doesn't affect me. You just have to, like, these are two separate things. Like, my stuff and everyone else's stuff. And just don't even combine the two.
Yeah, that's a great strategy.
Hmm.
It's like stay in your lane. Stay
Yeah,
with the things that you can control. That's something
right.
you can't control. Yeah. So then on that note, I mean all of this, you're managing your emotions, you're getting caught up in some comparison stuff, that's all normal and natural and to be expected. But let's shift now and talk about us as parents. What do you need as a senior? You're dealing with all this heavy stuff. What feels supportive and what doesn't?
Yeah. It's a really hard balance because on one hand, I want support from you guys. I want you guys to be there. But on another hand, I want the freedom. Like, it's senior year and we're getting ready to go off. And so to have so much restraint. And you guys have never been like very restrictive in that way. But even just the check-ins, like the school check-ins, like, oh, how's this going? Sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I have it, like it will be okay. But obviously sometimes things are just sad and we're gonna need you. So it's just like finding that balance about kind of being there and not being there and letting you do your thing, but also checking in like, hey, do you need this? Or, it's probably hard for you guys, honestly. Probably haven't made it too
It
easy for you
is.
guys.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you and every other teenager sometimes makes
Yeah.
it challenging for us. You guys are hard to read sometimes, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest. And what I am taking away from what you're saying is the checking in about school. You don't need that. Like, hey, I've got it. I've come this far. I don't need the check ins about school. So you would rather us as parents just take that check in off, maybe check in about how you're doing emotionally or what you have coming up this weekend for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm like a natural procrastinator, and I get that maybe you guys don't like that. But I'm like, okay, I'm a senior. Let me procrastinate. Let me deal with the repercussions. You know what I mean? And I also think it's important if I like open up a conversation like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. I have all this going on. You guys are very good about being like, okay, how can we help you? But I think it's very important to use the invites. Like if I invite you into this school space, maybe that's a good time to ask, well, can we help you organize your stuff? Or is there anything that you need my help with? Or
Yeah,
something?
that's a really good point because what you just shared is you're not intentionally coming to me and saying, Mom, I need your help. I'm stressed about this. Can you help me organize? But you are maybe sitting down at the dinner table and saying, oh my gosh, I feel so stressed. I've got 3 tests tomorrow and whatever. And so a follow up from me might be, oh, wow, that's a lot. Is there anything I can support you with? Because you've
Yes.
invited me into the conversation around your schoolwork. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very easy one.
Well, I'll say too, Natalie, we have been really lucky as parents because you and your brother and sister too have always been pretty on top of your game. You might procrastinate, but you've been pretty motivated to get your stuff done.
Yeah,
Imagine that they're not super motivated and senior slump is a real thing.
yeah,
So,
right.
what would you suggest to parents where we're on the back half of senior year? And I know you guys aren't as motivated as maybe you might have been. How do we as parents back off a little bit, but it's real hard to sit back and watch you blow it. Not
Yeah,
that you
right.
would blow it, but you know what I'm asking here? What about
Yeah,
those
no,
that
I
aren't quite as
do.
motivated?
That's really tough. Because even for me, like we call it senioritis. We don't call it senior slump
Oh,
anymore. But
senioritis. Okay.
it's definitely it's hitting everybody. So yeah, that's really tricky for people who are not motivated. Um, I think that would probably take a little more guidance, maybe more frequent check-ins see what's going on and then be like, hey, I noticed this, just making sure you're on top of everything. It's not that that's a bad thing. It's not like you can't ask or it's not like you can't check. It's just that when it feels like you're the one, like, not you're the one doing it, but I don't
It feels
know.
like pressure. I would think that
Yeah,
it's
it
like
feels
if you
like a
feel
lot of
pressure
pressure.
from us, that doesn't
Yes.
seem super motivating.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have pressure from my friends. I have pressure from my teachers. Like sometimes parents, it's just that little extra nudge that really just tips it over the edge. But sometimes it's fine, I guess. Just pick and choose. Hopefully it's a good day.
Okay. Well, again, we haven't solved all the parenting problems today, Natalie,
Right.
because you're even thinking like, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
as a
It's
parent.
so
And that's kind
tricky.
of how we are too. It's like,
Hmm.
how do we keep you guys motivated? How do we check in but not be hovering helicopter parents or trying to
Yeah.
be too controlling? It really is a balance. And as you're saying, it's also really individual to who your teenager is and what their experience is.
Yeah, it definitely takes conversation. I would definitely suggest asking your kid, what do you need from me? Or how can I help you? What are your plans for this year and how can I get you there? Because it's not just a one way, it's not just a one answer for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's do this. I want to do a rapid fire round of questions here. It's going to be very simple and just say the first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Okay.
So when it comes to senior year parent do's and don'ts,
Yes.
finish this sentence. Parents do what?
Support your kid and show up to events and be there for them.
Hmm. Good one.
Definitely be
Okay.
there. Like, be there for the events. Let them know that you're there for
Awesome.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. How about parents don't fill in the blank?
Parents don't be just don't just don't be too on top of things. Just let it slide. Just let it coast. Let it coast out senior year.
I'm reading that as let you guys take a little more of the control. Let for us
Yes.
to let go just
Yes.
a little bit. Let
Yes.
you guys handle it. Okay. All right.
Just be a
And
guiding
then
hand.
how about yeah, I like that. That's good. Being a guiding hand. How about parents should just chill out about what?
Mm, college essays. Gonna say college essays. For
Well, we're
me,
real chill
gosh,
now because they're done.
yeah, well, right. But the process, the journey was not a smooth one.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. And then fill in this blank. We like it when our parents blank, even if we don't act like it.
Maybe we like it when our parents will bring up old memories. That's always nice. Like, oh, remember when this, or like, look how far you've come. And maybe it's a little annoying in the moment. You're like, oh my gosh, mom, stop. But like, it's nice.
Yeah, because it communicates loving, warm
Yeah.
memories that we're remembering and we're celebrating. That's good. I like that. All right. One of the things I'm really big about on this podcast is to make sure that my listeners have action steps. They have things to do. And anyone that I know that has kids that have graduated or they're seniors or they're coming up, like it's our deepest desire as parents to just be connected to you guys. As teenagers, sometimes you spend a lot of time in your room or you're just not in the mood to talk. And so we always want to know how we can stay connected. So work with me as I walk through these because I've got 5 and I want your input on them. So the first action step for navigating this senior year and supporting your kid and also feeling really close is to create senior year rituals. And what I mean by that is, Natalie, it was so great. We spent the first part in the fall. We loved Dancing with the Stars, and it was our
Yeah.
Tuesday night ritual. Every Tuesday night, we'd watch Dancing with the Stars, and then it ended right before Christmas. But one of the most beautiful things that happened is you on your own said, hey, I loved the Tuesday night thing. Can we keep that going? Even though Dancing with the Stars is over. And I thought that was so amazing. That's a senior year ritual that we shared.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be anything big because in all relationships, it's the small things that really add up and are the things that we remember. So whether it's having a weekly coffee date or a breakfast date on the weekend or going for a walk on Sunday nights to kick off the week, there's probably lots of different ideas, but what are your thoughts on that? Is that Tuesday night ritual something that you'll remember? I feel like that would be a really good place to start.
Yeah, it was honestly it was really nice. I'm a big quality time person, and just to have that time that's designated to be together, and we both cleared our schedules. We both find the time and stuff. Just to spend time, even if it's just watching TV. Like maybe we're not actively engaging, but we're still in each other's presence. And it's a little bit of slow time in the middle of the week when everything just feels really chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah, that worked for us for sure.
Yeah.
We've got some months left. Are there any other
Mhm.
rituals you could think that you would want to add in? Anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, maybe just sitting down at the dinner table. I know we definitely make it a practice, at least we try to, but maybe just designating one night of the week just to sit down, phones away, just to talk about how things are going.
Yeah, I
Like
love that.
30
I love
minutes,
that
like
in
so
general,
short.
even if it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's not senior year, I just think for families in general, even more so senior year for sure. All right. That's my first action step. Create a senior year ritual. And the second action step is I think as parents, we need to ask better questions. We tend to ask questions about the logistics, right? Did you get that essay done? Did you study for your test? Who's driving on Saturday night? Or I
Yeah.
think it would be more helpful asking questions about how you guys are doing on the inside. What's
Yeah.
what happened that was really great this week? What is feeling really hard right now? What do you think you're going to miss the most about high school? Those questions that are more open-ended. Can you think of any questions that helps you to open up or anything that
Yeah.
really shuts you down where you don't want to share?
Yeah. I just my social life is so big for me right now. So whenever you guys ask, how is that going? Or how are your dynamics with your friends right now? I love those kind of questions because I mean, I like talking about myself, but I also like talking about the people that I love, or how I like my teachers or how this group project is going. So stuff like that I think is really great. It can be totally basic too, like how is cheer going? I mean, sometimes you're not going to get like a whole well thought out answer, but you'll get something. And it
Well, and
opens up,
about that,
it definitely opens it up.
yeah, but
You're
here's a
right.
question for
Yeah.
you. You're a teenager, and sometimes I love you, but sometimes you're in a mood, right? Sometimes you guys can be
Yes.
in a mood
Yeah.
and you don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And you're not the only, that's not unique to you. That's across the board. So are there any suggestions? Like, let's say I try to approach you and ask these questions and you're just not having it.
Yeah.
You're just,
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood. Now, you're pretty good at saying, like, Mom, I'm just not in the mood to talk. And I think that's healthy to say, and that's a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
But are there any ways that make it easier? Could I approach you differently? Or, or is it like, hey, don't get discouraged if your teenager doesn't want to talk, then ask again the next day?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not give up.
Definitely don't give up. Like, especially right after school is not the time to ask. Like, um, I definitely, for me
It's good to know.
personally, I'm like, yeah, let me just go sit in my room. Give me an hour just to like decompress. And then when I come back downstairs, it's usually like pretty safe. And I feel like that's pretty universal. Just like the recharging moment, because I've been at school all day and my social battery is dead. And so questions on top of that, obviously good intent, all that. But sometimes it's just not a great time to ask. But I do apologize for me and on behalf of teenagers. Mood swings are like no joke. Sometimes it's fine and then you ask one question, it's like all of a sudden I'm so angry and you didn't even do anything. So, yeah, just like feel it out and ask an hour later, really.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's really good, Natalie.
Yeah.
And thank you for the universal apology on behalf
Yes.
of all teenagers. I hope all parents have received it.
Of course. Yeah.
Are there any questions that shut you down emotionally? Like if you came down and you were kind of open to share, is there something that I could say that would shut it down?
Yeah. Okay, this is big. Like you're greeting me and this is the first time I've walked into the room and all of a sudden it's like, why didn't you do this? Or like starting it off with something negative or a command of any kind is just a really quick way to shut it down. Even if that is the purpose of the conversation, which is fine. Start it off with, hey, how's it going? Or good morning. Or like good to see you. Like definitely open it up and then you can go in with the actual meat of the conversation.
Okay. I feel like this is directed at me specifically.
No, it's really not. It's really not.
And it's really okay if it is. I know
Yeah.
that's happened with
Yes.
us because maybe you've just walked in from school, but I've been sitting for 8 hours
Yeah.
knowing that you left your
Yes.
dishes in the sink. And so I'm waiting for that moment because I've been irritated about it all day. And now you've walked in and that's what's on my mind. And I
Right.
forget that, hey, you've just gotten home and you
Yeah.
need a soft place to land first. If I've waited 8 hours to mention the dishes, I can wait another 30 minutes until you go decompress. So that is really good and really important. The timing of conversations matters.
It
How
does, yeah.
you start them off, your entry into a conversation matters. This is like universal relationship skills, honestly. All right, let's go on to the next action step. And that is, it is a time of last. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things where it's the last this and the last that. And I think it's really important to capture all that, whether it's taking it on video or taking photos of the moment or even doing a voice memo or a quick video interview like, oh my gosh, Natalie, it was your last cheer competition. How do you feel?
Oh, yeah. That's cute.
Something like that I think would be really cool because memories are awesome. And sometimes when you see a video or you see a photo, it can take you back to that moment. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love that. I try not to be too screenager, too like photo-y, but me and my friends, we like to vlog now where we have a little digital camera and my friend's actually compiling them all to go watch at the end of the year. So I think something like that's super cute. But also, we take selfies all the time and it's so quick and you don't have to look great. But strictly something for the memories, I think is huge. So I love how we do that. And I think that's so fun. And I think I'm going to have a great time going back and looking at all the selfies that we've taken and stuff.
Just think 10 years from now,
Yeah.
how 10 years later, and you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that. Or hopefully you're still with those friends. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at us. We look so cute. I love
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, I feel like selfies, obviously you take selfies with everyone, but it feels like something unique to us. And I think that's so special too. Finding someone and kind of documenting certain moments with them, I think is so fun too. And it feels nice and bonding.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next action step is for us as parents to share our emotions with you guys a little bit more and also normalize how two things can exist at once. And what I mean
Hmm.
by that is I am incredibly excited for you and the next chapter for you. And I'm also like, oh, I'm so sad. We can experience both of those things at the very same time. And I think if we start sharing that with you, by saying, I am so excited. I'm also really sad, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's important. However, what isn't helpful on that note, when I'm saying sharing with your child how you feel, what isn't helpful is if I was walking around like, oh my gosh, Natalie, I don't know what I'm going to do next year when you're gone. It's just going to be me and your dad. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to be so sad. Putting that on you so that you feel some sort of guilt or some sort of responsibility for my emotions. That we
Yeah.
don't want to do. But how do you feel about us being honest? Like, Natalie, I'm so excited, but I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to miss you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good because it's not all about us, and a huge responsibility is on you guys as well to help get us there and prepare us. So I think it's good to have a two-way conversation about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying about don't make them feel guilty about it because there's already a certain level of sadness that we're feeling about leaving, and it reminds us that you guys are getting older along with us and stuff. Like, I want to hear that you're feeling that way. But yeah, definitely not putting it on as a guilt thing.
Yeah, for sure. All right. The last action step I think is really important is to let you guys, I mean, my goodness, Natalie, you're going to be 18 years old in a couple weeks.
Hmm.
You're just around the corner from actually being a full, real adult. And sometimes it's hard for us as parents, right? You're still in our house, you're always going to be our kid. It's really hard to figure out what that balance is of letting you guys be young adults and kind of let you
Yeah.
go a little bit. So I think it's important to let you guys lead sometimes. So maybe it's letting you plan a family night or letting you choose a weekend activity or have a little bit more control over what the weekend looks like or your social calendar. Maybe having you guys come up with a senior bucket list for the family of
Yeah.
things that you want to do. Those are just my ideas of giving you some independence and some control. Because again, you're going to be, I mean, my goodness, you're going to be out the door soon and then you're out of our control. And it's a weird feeling for parents. But how can we support you in your independence, in your adulthood? Does that
Yeah.
seem like a good idea?
Yeah, definitely. Just giving us choice. Like, we want to feel capable. We want to feel like we're ready to be 18. And when we're not given the opportunity to show our capability, it feels really restrictive and it feels like some dissonance with what we feel and how you guys are feeling. So, definitely letting there be space for us to make decisions or like for us to at least make suggestions and invite us into open dialogue about what this year looks like. Even something as simple as a little family night, like what we're doing, maybe what movie we're watching and stuff. And just treating us like we are our own adults. Maybe not adults, but our own young adults at least.
Yeah, yeah. Well, certainly young adults, also legally adults. It's just, again, when you're in our house, it's interesting, even like adjusting the curfew,
Yeah.
right? It's always been this, but now you're a senior. And so maybe we need a little bit more flexibility. Those are hard choices for parents to make. We've talked about it. I'm like, I don't know the right answer here, Natalie. I'm trying to just sort of wing it because we don't
Right.
have the rule book of parenting. But
Hmm.
I will say that I have enjoyed our dialogues about trying to find that balance between letting you be more independent and also us feel like we're being good parents too, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Definitely being communicative and coming to like fair compromise. Like, I understand what you guys are saying and the rules that you are setting, but let me at least state my case. Let me at least tell you if I don't agree with it. And it's up to you guys to change it if you do or you don't. But at least let it be a conversation.
Right. Instead of this is a rule and we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. That open dialogue. I like that. Yes. And
Mhm.
also, right. It makes you feel more independent because my goodness, you are going to be making these decisions.
Right.
There will be no
Yeah.
curfew in college. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
All right. And the other thing I will say, so these are 5 great steps I think are going to be
Yeah,
really
definitely.
important and impactful for parents to really feel connected to their kids. But I also want to mention for any of the listeners that maybe haven't been doing any of these things, maybe this all feels like new territory. You guys are still around regardless of what your next steps are, at least for a handful more months. So there's
Yeah.
no time better than today to start with some of these, even if parents just picked one of those things to do,
Yeah,
to start
definitely.
doing today, can make it a more meaningful experience over the next few months. All right. So, Nat, we got to wrap up, but I'm just going to ask you a few more questions off the cuff that
Okay.
are a little bit more personal, but they'll be short and sweet. What is the thing that you are most excited about for next year for college?
I'm most excited about the people I'm going to meet, just the level of newness and the level of openness. I've never really been that afraid of like change. So, yeah, I'm just excited for new adventures.
Awesome. And what is the thing that you are most afraid of?
I'm most afraid of just feeling really lost or maybe feeling like this wasn't the right choice or feeling regretful or, um, yeah, just kind of out of place.
Okay. Okay. How about what is one thing that you need from me as your mom as we finish up these last months and summer
Yeah.
before you head out?
I just need you to like be there. Just be a good support for me. Just be there for conversations and for comments and for times where I just want to be home and all that.
Okay. Consider it done. And then what do you hope never changes between us?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about anything changing between us. But maybe that we can still just hang out and it feel easy and normal and for us to bond on the things we love and just be able to enjoy each other's presence, I guess.
Well, I'll jump in on that and say, Natalie, nothing will ever change between
Yeah.
us. There's nothing that would
Trick
have
question.
anything. I mean, well, it wasn't a trick question, but I just wanted your thoughts on it
Yeah.
because what I want you to know is that there's no location change
Yeah.
that changes who we are as mother and daughter.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you could do or not do that would ever change the dynamic that we have between each other. And I also want to say, as this being a senior year and all that you're experiencing and the difficulties, and see your eyes are watering and then make my eyes water, which just
You
wasn't
got
my
me.
intention. But I do want to say that there's no one more excited. There's no one more proud, number one, and also excited. And I know so many parents are hearing this and feeling the same way about their kids. Just that level of pride that we have, how far you guys have come. You specifically have worked your butt off and had so
Yeah.
much success and afforded yourself all these opportunities. And I'm just so proud and so excited about the next chapter for you.
Thank
And
you.
your dad and I are going to be riding these last months out
Yeah.
right by your side and feeling all of the emotions all the way. And when you're off, I'm going to bring you back next Christmas and bring you back on the podcast, and we'll talk about all about your new adventures wherever you land, and
All
we'll
right.
we'll know that soon enough. But Natalie, I've loved having you here. I appreciate your time,
Thank you.
and I just
Super fun.
appreciate, yeah, I appreciate you as a person. You're amazing.
Thank you. So are you.
I love you.
I love you too.
I hope that you enjoyed my conversation with Natalie. Obviously, it's so special for me as her mom to have her on, but I hope that what you all took from our conversation is just how special this senior year time really is. And we all know it's going to be over with in the blink of an eye. So let's not rush it. Let's slow down. Let's be present. Let's be in the moment and show up for things, all the last sports events and activities. Let's just be it all we can for them because remember, your kid still needs you. Not to hover or manage their lives, but to stay connected even as all of this stuff is changing for them and for us. So just to take one of those action steps today, just pick one of them and do it. Maybe it's creating one of those senior rituals, or maybe it's just asking a better question. Whatever it is, do it this week, not to make senior year perfect, but to make it really meaningful for both of you. So thank you for listening today. I appreciate you being here and would love for you to like or follow the podcast, follow the YouTube channel if that's where you're watching, or leave a comment for me. Let me know that you enjoyed it or pass it along to someone else that you think would. And please go to my website at jenfunkcoaching.com. You can sign up for my weekly newsletter there. It's always filled with tips and encouragement on how to just build better relationships with everyone that matters in your life. And again, just a super special thank you to my sweet daughter, Natalie, for being on the podcast today. If you guys know me, you know I am intentional about seeking joy in my life. And I can definitely say that having her on the podcast brought me a lot of joy today. All right, I will see you all next week. Until then, take care. Thanks for joining me on Relating with Jen Funk. To find out how we can work together and get free resources to strengthen your relationships, head to jenfunkcoaching.com and sign up for my newsletter. Till then, stay connected, stay encouraged, and I'll see you next week.